Oh my goodness. I was just trying to get Google to be a little bit more quiet because I'm starting. So, thank you for your patience. I'm just gonna make sure everything is up and running as usual. I'm gonna be talking about something really exciting today. I'm just so excited to be sharing this today as well. Okay, beautiful divine ones. Okay, if you're here, say hello. If you're online later and watching the replay, you're very welcome to also check in and share. I'm just gonna make sure that I am on the page before I start off. Okay, I am. All right, beautiful divine ones. Okay. So today I'm gonna be talking about something that is deeply, deeply close to my heart, and then also introduce to you um, something that I have learned through shamanic practices and also the sages, and also being introduced to that through a beautiful divine teacher as well. And obviously, you know, when you tie all these things together, everything begin to work in a divine order. And for me, I was able to really constellate these wisdom and begin to reconnect with my ancestors' knowledge and their own wisdom, and also work that through my own modalities and work that through the power of a tea ceremony, which is really the underpinning healing modality that I use when a client comes to work with me. And if this is your first time and you're wondering who the hell this is, hello, Divine One. My name is Li Ying, and I am a divine energy alchemist, a ceremonial keeper of the way of tea, and I'm also a sacred transformation mentor. I am here to help creative feminine leaders to live on purpose in their own authentic power so that they can fully align with freedom, abundance, and their own unstoppable vision. And you will see how powerful it is when we come into a space where we let ourselves really rise to our highest self. And that is the power of the work that I do, right? I move into this realm where we initiate you into a space where you begin to work with spirit, where you begin to reconnect the mind and the body and spirit through alchemical healing, through embodiment practices and ceremony and ancestral wisdom. So, what we're going to talk about today, hi, beautiful. What we're going to talk about today is something called the five spirits. First and foremost, I want to share with you a little bit about my story because it is connected and I believe it's related, and it empowers the story to have a life of its own instead of me just rattling off something that you probably can find on the internet or in a book, right? So I'm actually born in Malaysia and I'm Chinese by birth, by blood. I am full Chinese, and I was born in Malaysia. And you know, from a very young age, I can really remember feeling like I was worried. I was anxious in a way, even though, you know, outwardly I was just a, a pocket full of sunshine, let's put it that way. I just love showing up, love singing, I love dancing. I was just chirpy as hell. But I suddenly came to a standstill when I was probably 7 years old. Um, I started realizing when I started studying academically, realizing that, oh, we are, you know, classified as a Chinese race in Malaysia. And in Malaysia, the native citizens are what we call the Malay. And that meant that they had, you know, they had privileges, they had special privilege. And, you know, for me at the time, I just felt like, you know, those things didn't really matter as much as I felt I didn't really have a home. Like I remember feeling as though like, oh, it would be so nice to be someone who's truly so proud that they are actually from that land. They are actually people who are connected to the land. And I think, for some reason, I just never really connected with the land there. Like, I just felt deeply resentful for, when it began to build up, I felt resentful for my bloodline. I felt resentful for my circumstance. I came from a beautiful family. There's really nothing nothing bad to say about it. My parents were really loving. My father was away quite a lot, so I was with my mom a lot. But my relationship with my mother was never really like great, because she was always working, and I just felt like I never had that kind of familial love. Even though outwardly, it looked like she gave us everything. And I think a lot of that was down to the very conditioning that, as long as I give them the money or the material things, then they will be happy as children. But obviously, her way of expressing affection, looking back now, I know that she was doing her very best with my dad away all the time on work projects and on a work basis, basically. She was really doing her best. And, herself being raised as a second generation Chinese Malaysian, she was also beginning to kind of, with like at her age, she was also not very much in touch with her ancestry, right? So I was going through the motions of growing up, and obviously, like some of you all know, I eventually was diagnosed with anorexia. I was lost. I was a chronic people pleaser. I just completely was anxious all the time and depressed, and I just didn't know what was life. Like, I didn't know what my dharma or my soul purpose was. Like, I just didn't know. Now, of course, like coming back to how I discovered, first and foremost, my Dao, which is also what you could call dharma or soul purpose. I discovered that first and foremost with tea. Tea spirit opened that door for me. And I knew that my Tao is to share tea in a really massive way. It's a ceremony, it's an ancient wisdom, it's an ancient lineage. And the way the transmission and the downloads and the insights come through the tea and the space of the ceremony is something that is beyond words can ever even explain. And when I come into this space to talk about the five spirits, I want you to know that I come from a place where I grew up as a Taoist, and also I studied at a Confucianist school. And we also, as a family, identify as a Buddhist, specifically honoring Guanyin. And I always questioned a lot of things about it. Like, I love the rituals, I love the gods and the stories and the myths, because they spin such a beautiful, they enliven our lives. And now, just to share with you, the Taoist tradition, when in my lineage of the tea ceremony, we are coming back to a time of the shamans. So we are coming back to a time when the shamans carried tea leaves in their pouches as medicine. They would go around the village and share the medicine that is in their pouches, and tea played a huge role in that. And the shaman was also the go-between. She or he was the wanderer who roamed the cloud realms between heaven and earth. And in Taoist alchemy, and actually in our tradition, the Chinese tradition, it is believed that every single person is heaven on earth. We are like the mini version of the cosmos, the mini version of the universe. And it is incredibly beautiful how we began to spin into life. It is believed that the King Mu's hand picked up a ladle of stars and poured it down from the sky onto earth, and those starlight are called Shen. They are spirits, and they fall into the heart space of a human being, and that is how the body comes to life. So going back to the shamans, they were the ones traveling. One of the beautiful things I love to share is that I climb, as the shaman now, I climb the tree up to meet the gods and the goddesses, to carry down the insights and the downloads down. And that is a tree that is actually a peach tree. It is a tree of immortality. I just love this so much because it is through the rituals and the incense and the drumming and the incantations that we begin to open the passageways between humans and the divine, right? And that is how we begin to journey on what we call the great mystery, the Tao, and really gain access to bring down the small capital D Tao to you as my client, as the woman who's working with me. I'm going to be spinning in that space to bring you clarity, to bring you to a place to guide you to live on your own Tao, your own purpose. So what is really the magic that happens, right? In Tao, I kind of put that in the description box, and you will see what I mean here. The Tao itself is unnamed. It's so vast that even the poets and the sages and the shamans couldn't put a finger on it. It's the universe, it is emptiness, it is hundreds and thousands of things, and it is a unity consciousness. And it is believed that only the heart knows the Tao. It is the heart that knows by the emptiness of it, the pure potential that really brings everything and nothing together. That is why it's so beautiful, because we are here, all of us. We landed here. We are all energy. We are all souls. We landed here, and we have this beautiful body that we designed to experience this human experience, right? And it is all of our soul purpose, all of our Tao, the path, the way forward to discovering our authentic power as a creatrix of our own lives. And a lot of times, I honestly think this happens to everyone, but everyone has a decision on, do I want to go forward and actually discover my own Tao, or do I just want to sit and simmer and be in the same shithole for the rest of my life? And I honestly think that it really comes down to free will. And when someone is ready to discover their own Tao, what that really means is that alchemy is going to begin to happen. The Tao is where there is a primordial chaos. That chaos started to spin and break apart. It is a unified field. It is an orderly chaos. It is a chaos where everything has a suitable place, right? Just imagine that. This really transcends rational mind, by the way. So what I'm saying here, I just want you to know that what I do, my ultimate goal is to unite your consciousness and your unconscious. And that the way to do that is to start to use symbolism, rituals, and ceremony. Because it is in this place that your awareness is no longer limited to your mind. You begin to learn to feel and open portals through your body. This is so important to mention, because to really come to a place where you are broken apart, let's just put it that way, where you feel like there's no hope, where it feels like you're just at the precipice of something, but you don't know what it is. And these are most of my clients, by the way. They don't know what their soul purpose is. They want to know deeply how to rise in their own authentic power and not to be held back by the expectations of others, or, to have that fear of judgment, the fear of, what if they don't support me? And I can tell you, it breaks my heart every single time I see this, like how many women gave up on following their path just because somebody said that they don't support their vision, right? So to live on purpose in your own authentic power requires you to understand that you have to do the inner work. I can honestly tell you that you might scoff at me, you might roll your eyes, right? But I'm just going to tell you this. Today, I sit here talking to you in full-hearted empathy and also power. I deeply understand how it feels like to be expanding all the time and also still feel deeply, deeply anchored in my own vortex of stillness and deep, profound power. But looking back, I wasn't always like that. I wasn't always like that. I was constantly looking outside of myself to validate my own dreams, to validate why I'm doing this. You know, there were so many instances when I would have almost given up because to me, I needed somebody to validate my existence, to say that I'm doing a great job, to say that, well done, Li Ying, right? But I never got that. I never got that because here's the thing, my love. If you are not clear on what you're doing, especially as a leader, nobody's gonna get it. Nobody's gonna get it as you would. And you first and foremost have to get it. And then vow never to abandon yourself, all your dreams, and you pursue it with that light and that vision in you. That is what it means to be a leader. To be a leader, it really comes with so much willingness to fall and then rise up again and continue dancing your way. Because here's the thing, why my work is so potent is because when the clients come in to work with me in Siren Goddess, it's a 90-day immersion, by the way, they begin to learn to work with a beautiful creative flow that comes from alchemy. Alchemy is an age-old, it's nothing new. It's honestly nothing new, but it's a very age-old modality that is consistently about directing you towards a place where it almost feel like no ideas are coming up. When no ideas arise, that means the right ideas will come. That is the spirit of my clients when they come to work with me. They don't get broken down when no ideas come up. They don't get broken down by things that seemingly feel like it's going against their will. They're learning to turn willpower into wisdom so that they know instantly. It's like a body sense feeling because they now have the ability to keep one eye inside of them all the time. So it's like going around and really feeling, that's for me. That's not for me. Okay, let's move on. And that is how it becomes so fucking powerful for them because now they have this space, this vortex in them that is consistently expanding, and they're walking around in this beautiful giant electromagnetic field that grows in magnetism. So they're drawing in all the beautiful divine things that they want to create in their lives with ease and grace because now they're not sitting there thinking they are being constrained by certain things. They know that it's theirs and they're going to go out with that vibrational frequency and everyone will be attracted and magnetized. And of course, money, like everything else, is just energy. Then it will flow through. And I specifically mention money because so many people are tied down by that. And I just want to give you an example, right, about walking with that knowing. Even though I don't know where my next, let's say 10,000 pounds would come from, for example, right? That is what I want to manifest. For example, I deeply know that it's already here. I already know that. And I am actually in a place right now where I can feel it really embodied. It's like a presence in me. And I know that my clients are going to feel that. They can feel my energy, and so it is a ricochet. It comes and it comes through me, and they collect it from me, and then it goes bigger and it grows bigger, and we are growing this beautiful divine light for the change that humanity needs. So when you discover your Tao, it's not just about you living on purpose anymore. It's about really, really carrying out that vision you hold with clarity, with confidence, and you're unstoppable. You are a like real presence. It's that I want for every single client who comes to work with me. And I've seen profound results. I've seen clients who came to me super confused, totally intelligent and intellectual, but don't know how to land their ideas, really going out to manifest their business. I have clients who came to me with insecurities and they don't know how to overcome them. And they actually now embrace their darkest parts. They embrace their rejected parts, because that is also alchemy. Alchemy is really about facing up to this real, those parts of yourself that feels really, really scary to look at. And once you do that, and there are, of course, the beautiful divine modalities that I share when you work with me that can make it so effortless for you. And we're working in a way that really transcends the mind. Because here's the deal, if you're still, and I'm not saying anything bad about psychology or therapy, they are all good. But here's the thing, we so often forget this. Everything starts with energy. And so when I work with my clients, I'm actually going down to their raw energy. I'm going down to their raw energy to unveil what is it that they need to release. What is the subconscious belief that is holding them back? And when it comes to the five spirits, coming back to how the Tao was one union, right? One unity. It began to break apart into heaven and earth. And from heaven and earth, there began to spin 3 directions and 4 directions, right? So from 4 directions, we have 5 elements that spun out of the 4 directions. 5 elements in Taoist alchemical Chinese medicine, by the way, is metal, water, earth, fire, wood, yeah, and all of them are part of nature. It just continues, it's a cyclical nature that continues to happen, right? Throughout the year, the seasons, we know that summer is fire, we know that spring is wood, we know that earth is neutral, and metal is autumn, and water is winter. But what makes them so special and have a life of its own are the 5 spirits. 5 spirits, again, bringing that from the cosmos level to the human level, are also the spirits that enliven you, that make you uniquely you. What you have as spirits are what brings you to life. So I am Li Ying because I have my own spirits, and you are someone else with your own spirits, right? So I love this because it begins to show you how we are all beautiful cosmos itself. And the spirit of fire, the spirit of wood, the spirit of earth, the spirit of metal, and the spirit of water begin to intermingle. And that is how the consciousness and the unconscious begin to embrace each other and meet each other in this liminal space. I wish I could share so much more. So if you are someone who really, really want to dive deeper into this and really understand how to work with the instinctual wisdom of your body, how to work with your emotions, how to serve on your energy and really awaken those gaps in your energy circuit and really bring you to the door, the threshold of your divine wholeness, your magnificence, which are all really conducive to living on purpose in your authentic power, by the way, then really just get on the call. The Sacred Transformation call is free, by the way. It is open to creative feminine leaders who really want to do the work and are ready to rise and they want to explore working with me. Then book the call. Book the call, because even if you decide not to work with me on the call, you will still walk away with clarity on what exactly is keeping you stuck. Because my specialty, my superpower is really to define what are the subconscious beliefs that are holding you back. And obviously, when we work together, we are going to work on the raw energy basis to release them. So it is really not about restoring you to your old self, whatever that is. It is really about sacred transformation. And transformation can only happen when you are ready. When you are ready for new possibilities to come through. And it is a beautiful place to be, my love. I've seen my clients doing this. It's deeply beautiful, seeing them connect to the ceremony, seeing them connect with pure spirits and the essence of tea itself. And the tea ceremony lineage, which is also called Cha Dao, is completely aligned with the way. And the way itself is infused with so much Zen Buddhism wisdom, Taoist wisdom, and so much more that is so heavenly and earthly at the same time, which is so important to emphasize, by the way, because honestly, we have enough people, cosmic beings who are deeply talented, and yet they can't land here on earth to do what they are here to do, to live their Tao. And my mission is to allow you to land here fully and also still live this divine cosmic experience as a human being. And here's the thing people don't talk about enough, is that when you fully embrace your humanness, you are actually living so much more cosmic and astral life. You don't need to be astral projecting all the time, right? It's a very beautiful, gift to do that, to be psychic, to be intuitive, because I know all of you have that. And I don't ever even expect my clients to learn that from me. But how are you landing here? Are you manifesting a beautiful life here? Or are you still expecting to live that way after you leave Earth? Let's come back here in this present moment and let's amplify your presence so that you can live with integrity and intention and bring your vision to life. And to bring your vision to life, you have to be aligned with the wisdom that lies right here. Don't be afraid of gravity. Right here just means really your body. Your body is the communicator of your soul. They are not separate. They've never been separate, and we need to come back. We need to remember this. We need to remember this wisdom, and I'm here so honored to share this with you. So, okay, my love, I think that's pretty much where I'm at today. I just wanted to share this with you. I could obviously go on and on and on, but I just want you to really take this in. If you know that you're so done with being restricted by other people's expectations and judgments and feeling scared and keeping yourself small and confined in confusion, really book a call. Okay, let's chat. Let's get you rising. All right, Divine Goddess, big kisses. I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.